What if I told you that for over 30 years, triangular aircraft have been silently gliding through our skies, defying every law of physics we thought we understood? I'm talking about the TR-3B Black Manta, America's most classified spy plane that officially doesn't exist, but has been witnessed by thousands of people across the globe. While the public marvels at the F-22 and debates the F-35's capabilities, the real breakthrough in aerospace technology has been hidden in plain sight. We're talking about aircraft that can hover motionless for hours, accelerate to impossible speeds without sonic booms, and operate using propulsion systems that make rocket engines look like Stone Age technology. Today, I'm exposing the most secretive aircraft program in American history. A spy plane so advanced that it makes the SR-71 Blackbird look like a paper airplane. But here's what the government doesn't want you to know. The technology behind the TR-3B might not even be from this world. The triangle mystery begins. Let me tell you the story of how this mystery began, because it perfectly captures the gap between what the public knows and what's really flying in our skies. Picture this. It's March 30th, 1990, and over 13,000 people across Belgium witness something that changes everything. Massive triangular aircraft, completely silent, moving at impossible speeds and making turns that should tear any conventional aircraft apart. The Belgian Air Force scrambles F-16 fighters to intercept these objects. The pilots get radar locks, they have visual confirmation, but here's where it gets terrifying. These triangular craft accelerate from hovering to over 1,000 miles per hour in seconds without making a sound. The F-16s can't even keep up. But Belgium wasn't an isolated incident. Phoenix, Arizona, 1997. Thousands of witnesses see a mile-wide triangular craft glide silently over the city. Tinley Park, Illinois, 2004 to 2006. Multiple mass sightings of triangular aircraft that MUFON investigators still can't explain. The pattern is always the same. Triangular, silent, impossible performance. And here's what makes this story even more intriguing. While these sightings were happening around the world, American aerospace contractors were quietly filing patents for anti-gravity propulsion systems. Coincidence? I don't think so, because what the public was witnessing wasn't alien technology. It was the testing of America's most advanced spy plane, decades ahead of anything in the official inventory. The science behind the impossible. Now, let me explain the science that makes the TR-3B possible, because understanding the technology reveals just how far ahead of public knowledge this program really is. The key lies in something called the magnetic field disruptor, a plasma-based propulsion system that creates a localized distortion in Earth's gravitational field. Picture this. The TR-3B's triangular hull contains a circular accelerator that spins liquid mercury plasma at incredible speeds. This creates what physicists call a magnetic vortex field that reduces the aircraft's mass by up to 89%. It's like the aircraft becomes almost weightless, allowing it to perform maneuvers that would be impossible for conventional aircraft. But here's where it gets really interesting. The patents for this technology were filed by Dr. Salvatore Pais, working for the US Navy. We're talking about official government documents describing inertial mass reduction devices and high-frequency gravitational wave generators. This isn't science fiction. This is documented military research. The Navy even spent over $500,000 testing these concepts, though they claim the experiments were unsuccessful. But here's what they're not telling you. Just because the Navy's tests failed doesn't mean the Air Force's black budget programs didn't succeed. And the timeline matches perfectly with the TR-3B sightings. The first documented triangular aircraft appearances coincide exactly with when this anti-gravity research would have moved from theory to practical application. The black budget connection. Here's where our story takes a turn into the shadowy world of black budget aerospace programs. The TR-3B isn't just another experimental aircraft. It's the product of decades of research that began with Operation Paperclip, when America recruited Nazi scientists after World War II. Those German scientists weren't just working on rockets. They were researching anti-gravity propulsion, electromagnetic field manipulation, and technologies that were decades ahead of their time. When they came to America, that research didn't disappear. It went underground into programs so classified that they don't officially exist. The Aurora program, the alleged replacement for the SR-71, was just the tip of the iceberg. Intelligence sources suggest that Aurora was actually a cover story for something far more advanced, the TR-3B program that was developing anti-gravity technology, while the public thought we were still using conventional jet engines. And here's the smoking gun. Former Lockheed Skunk Works director Ben Rich once said, "We now have the technology to take ET home." He wasn't talking about alien spacecraft, he was talking about human-built aircraft using principles that the public wouldn't understand for decades. But the most compelling evidence isn't in classified documents or insider testimonies. It's in the physics patents that prove this technology is real. Patent trail. Now, let me show you the documented proof that anti-gravity propulsion isn't just theoretical. It's been under active development by the US military for years. Dr. Salvatore Pais, working for the Naval Air Warfare Center, filed patents for technologies that read like science fiction but are grounded in real physics. Patent US 101444532B2 describes a craft using an inertial mass reduction device, essentially a vehicle that can reduce its own mass through electromagnetic field manipulation. Patent US 103222827B2 details a high-frequency gravitational wave generator that can create localized gravitational anomalies. But here's what makes these patents extraordinary. They describe exactly the kind of propulsion system that would explain the TR-3B's impossible performance characteristics. Silent operation, instantaneous acceleration, the ability to hover motionless. It all matches the physics described in these official government documents. The Navy claims these patents are purely theoretical, but patent law requires that inventions be useful and operable. You can't patent something that doesn't work. The fact that these patents were approved means the technology has been demonstrated to function. And here's the kicker. These patents were filed in 2016 and 2017, but the technology they describe matches witness reports of triangular aircraft going back to the 1980s. Either the Navy is decades behind the Air Force's black programs, or they're deliberately releasing outdated information to muddy the waters. But patents and witness reports are just the beginning. The real evidence lies in the operational capabilities that only an anti-gravity aircraft could achieve. Operational capabilities. Here's where the TR-3B's true capabilities become clear, and why it represents the most significant advancement in aerospace technology since the Wright brothers. We're talking about an aircraft that can operate in ways that redefine what's possible in aviation. Intelligence reports suggest the TR-3B can reach altitudes of over 120,000 feet, well into the stratosphere, where conventional aircraft can't operate. It can hover motionless for hours, without any visible means of propulsion, then accelerate to speeds exceeding Mach 9 without creating sonic booms. But here's what makes it the ultimate spy plane. It's virtually undetectable. The anti-gravity propulsion system produces no heat signature, no electromagnetic emissions, and no acoustic signature. It's like a ghost that can observe enemy installations without ever being detected. Former aerospace engineer Edgar Fouché, who claims to have worked on the TR-3B program, describes an aircraft 600 feet wide that can carry payloads equivalent to a small space shuttle. We're talking about a spy plane that can deploy satellites, conduct reconnaissance missions, and potentially carry weapon systems that officially don't exist. And here's the most terrifying capability. The TR-3B can allegedly operate in space, not just high-altitude flight, but actual orbital operations without the need for rocket propulsion. It's like having a reusable space plane that can launch from any runway and return the same day. If even half of these capabilities are real, the TR-3B doesn't just represent advanced technology. It represents a complete paradigm shift in how we think about aerospace operations. The cover-up question. But this raises the ultimate question that goes to the heart of government secrecy. If America has possessed anti-gravity technology for decades, why keep it classified? The answer reveals something profound about how breakthrough technologies are managed in the modern world. The TR-3B represents technology so advanced that its public revelation would fundamentally alter global power structures. Countries that have spent billions developing conventional aircraft would suddenly find their entire air forces obsolete overnight. It would be like revealing gunpowder to a world still fighting with swords and shields. But there's another possibility that's even more intriguing. What if the technology behind the TR-3B came from studying recovered non-human craft? What if Operation Paperclip wasn't just about recruiting Nazi scientists, but about reverse engineering technology that wasn't originally from Earth? The truth is, We may never know the full story behind the TR-3B, but the evidence is clear. America possesses aerospace technology that's decades ahead of anything in the public domain, and it's been operating in our skies for over 30 years. Conclusion. The TR-3B Black Manta represents either the greatest achievement in human aerospace engineering or the most successful reverse engineering project in history. Either way, it proves that the technology flying in our skies is far more advanced than anything the public has been told. But anti-gravity spy planes are just one piece of a much larger puzzle of classified military technology. The same quantum physics principles that might power the TR-3B's impossible propulsion are now being weaponized in ways that make anti-gravity look simple. Speaking of quantum breakthroughs that seem impossible, next week I'm exposing how quantum sensors just shattered the most fundamental rule of naval warfare. For over a century, everyone said submarines were undetectable, invisible predators that could hide anywhere in the world's oceans. But quantum magnetometers can now track submarines from 50 kilometers away, even when they're running completely silent. If you want to understand how quantum physics is revolutionizing military technology in ways that make science fiction look conservative, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. The Quantum Submarine Detection Exposé drops next Tuesday, and trust me, what I'm going to reveal about making the invisible visible will completely change how you think about underwater warfare. Do you think the TR-3B is human technology, or are we looking at something that originated beyond Earth? Let me know your theories in the comments below, because the truth might be stranger than any of us imagine.